All right, let's move on to March Madness and NCAA tournament. We'll get into how to bet it in a moment, Steve. But the brackets, everybody at their office or with their buddy, everybody has a bracket. Do you have bracket filling out advice?
Yes, it depends how many people are in your bracket. So let's say you're in a small office and there's 10 people. Pick a whole bunch of chalk. Pick mostly favorites. Pick the teams that are going to be favored. We got a great chance to win. You only got to beat 9 other guys. The ideal situation, if you were going heads up against somebody, you take what you expect to be the Vegas favorite in each and every game, and you have an optimal bracket. Now, the bigger your pool gets, the more fun you can have. So let's say you're in a contest with 1 million people. Well, now you can take a 6 seed to win it all. Maybe that team only has 100 to 1 chance, but if there's 100,000 people in your pool, then you can have plus EV, and you can go ahead and grab some dogs and the like. So in general, the bigger the pool, the more fun and the more upsets that you can pick, because you're going to need that to differentiate yourself from the masses.
Interesting. Okay. What if you don't know how many people are in it?
Can't fill out the pool. Don't know. Incomplete and imperfect information. Wait until the deadline and find out how many people have entered.
Steve, last year, I fill this out for Dan Patrick because I fill in for Dan Patrick all the time. So I'm in like the Dan Patrick celebrity bracket tournament. I think I won last year, or else I got second. I just took the higher seed in every single game. I mean, I like college hoops. I'll watch the tournament because I like the tournament. I don't know who any of these kids are hardly. I don't really care that much. It's still, by the way, it's unbelievably entertaining to watch these games without having any knowledge of any of the players or really even caring. I mean, these guys could all be semi-pro Russians for all I know. I have no idea. I'm just, as long as they're in the uniform that says Princeton or NC State or whatever, I'm cool with it, which I think is hilarious. But I just picked the higher seed in every game, and I think I won the tournament.
So this is a great point. So a lot of people do that. They're not following it. So because of that, they're going to take a 7 seed, not a 10 seed, and they're going to take an 8, not a 9, if they're in a hurry and they're just filling out their pool quickly. So all things being equal, check the Vegas spreads right before you submit your pool, and any 9 seed that's favored, any 10 seed that's favored, go ahead and take those teams to win in the first round, because pretty much in every pool, you're going to see, even though the 10 seed is a 2-point favorite, they're only going to get selected like 48% of the time by the public. So you want value versus your competition. And if you can have a 2-point favorite and you're in the minority on the people that are selecting that, there's value.
Got it. That makes sense. So don't just pick the higher seed because other people will do that. Pick the team, because I've seen like in some of these 7, 8, 9, 10, the lower seed is favored.
Yes. And, and this whole higher seed stuff, as a math guy, it just blows my mind. It's like, they're the higher seed. I'm like, no, the highest seed is at the 1 or the 16. And I'm like, I just short circuit. Yes.
Yeah. What is it?
I always say the better team. I don't know.
Because higher and lower. Got it. All right. Let's do some do's and don'ts, Steve. March Madness style. Give me a don't. Don't do this for March Madness betting.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 don'ts. Don't make big bets on who's going to win the tournament. Don't make big bets on who's going to win the region. There is no value to be had. Let me give you the math behind why there's no value to be had. You get an undervalued team and you're like, dude, I'm getting these guys at 30 to 1. They could win it all. And they're like a 5 seed. All right. So even if that 5 seed wins in the first round, which is no given. All right. Then they got to win 5 more games, and they're a 5 seed. So they're going to be playing 4s and 2s and 1s, and maybe they'll get an 8 along the way, but you get where I'm going. They're going to be an underdog more than likely in their next 5 games. Even if by some miracle, the bracket opened up for them and they got, a St. Peter's game and some other games where they got teams where they're actually favored in a few of their games. At the most wildly optimistic scenario would be, on average, they'd be pick 'em their next 5 games. Well, if they're a pick 'em in the next 5 games, then their chance of winning is 1/2 to the 5th, or 1 in 32. You see where I'm going. So even if they make the final 32, at best they have a 32-1 chance, 31-1 of winning the tournament. And more likely, if they have a murderer's row and have to play the good teams, it should be like 60, 70, 80-1. And you're only getting 35-1. It's just woefully inadequate.
Got it. All right. What's the other one that you shouldn't do?
So don't bet the team to win even the region. Same problem, same issue. If you just played the mechanical parlay and bet that team, took your money, bet them to win the first game, cashed your ticket, reinvested, bet them to win the next game, you'll wind up with a whole lot more money.
Explain that, Steve, because that's obviously your due, is if you like a team, the mechanical parlay. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so if you like Gonzaga, for instance, to win the tournament, all right, instead of betting the Zags at 18-1, you start with $100. Well, you bet them to win round one. Well, you're going to bet 100 to win $6 against Grand Canyon. So then you cash it. Now you got $106. You bet Gonzaga against TCU to win. Well, now you're laying minus 165. So now the $106, you cash that ticket. Now you got $170. Then round three, you bet Gonzaga, pick them, whoever they're playing. You invest 170. You see where I'm going. That 170 will grow to 330. Then it will grow to 800. Then it will grow to 1,600. And then it'll grow to like 4,000 by the time you're done. And you can, maybe that's too optimistic, but by the time you get done, that $100 is going to grow to 4,000. You're going to get 40-1 on Gonzaga. Maybe it's a little high, like I said, versus only getting like an 18-1 if you bet it in the one-time shot in the futures pool.
Got it. How come people don't know that? They don't listen to this podcast. They just don't know that that's what you should do.
They want to have fun. The way I'm describing it, it's a lot like a JOB. And if you're only betting $5 anyways, just throw it in there and you like to have your ticket. Hey, this is the team I'm betting on. Ross, every year people from Chicago, nicest people in the world, come out to Vegas and they bet the Cubs. Even when the Cubs stunk, they would bet the Cubs 20-1 and 12-1 to win the World Series just to have that ticket year after year after year when the Cubs weren't even making the playoffs.
That's funny. All right. Do you have any other dues?
Yes. The dues, I would say bet live wagering. We're not really sure our confidence level. Some of these teams are from different regions geographically. It's not going to be unusual that you're going to see teams. You might have a game lined at 150 for a total, and it's getting played at a really slow pace. It's much slower than what we expected. You might see an 8-point underdog that's playing evenly against another team, and it's obvious as you're watching the game. So I would encourage all to bet live and believe your eyes. Tend to believe whatever is happening on the screen is more likely than what the pre-flop algorithm number was that we're really guessing, especially on a lot of these totals. Another dues, look to unders. Historically, unders have been the way to go. Really important games. Teams play tight to start the game. In fact, first half unders, bold prediction. If you played every single tournament first half under, you'll wind up making money. This has been true almost every tournament.
Interesting. Anything else, Steve, that we need to know about March Madness, the NCAA tournament?
I would prefer dogs to favorites. Historically, underdogs have covered last 5 years 54%. It doesn't sound like a big number, but it makes sense. This is the one time of the year the public takes over, and the public money is all coming in on the public teams. You know, the Indianas, the Gonzagas, the Texases, the Houstons. And because of that, all the point spreads get a little bit inflated, especially Friday night, because everyone's coming to Vegas, they're coming to town. And the later it gets Thursday, and then on Friday night, more the juices get flowing. The public's betting more and more money. It is rarely wrong to play the dogs on the Friday night games in Las Vegas, often at inflated point spreads.
Interesting. You know what else is interesting, Steve? I'll be watching these games drinking Labatt Blue Light. Not many things go better together than watching March Madness and drinking Labatt Blue Light with your friends or by yourself or with your kids. I'll be watching and drinking Labatt Blue Light Thursday at 4:40 when my Princeton Tigers take on Arizona. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
And that's
Let's
what
get to
good
an email
dads
question,
do.
Steve.
That's what good dads do, Ross. They don't drink with their friends. They drink with their children.